I had like a coincidence type situation when I came for the happiness retreat. The author of Emotion Code,
Dr. Bradley Nelson, yes.
yeah, he was right next to us. And in the middle of my spiritual awakening, I would say, I had someone who wanted to practice the emotion code on me. And she kept bringing up this age that I was having difficulty. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never really thought more about it. I kind of just left it how it was. I had a session with someone while I was on the property, but like from someone outside of the property. And she also had brought up a situation at that age. And I was like, oh, okay. And during the happiness retreat, in meditation, I had this moment where I realized that I had this wound of passing out in front of a class. I was giving a presentation and it affected me more than I realized. Like I would always joke about it. And I think sometimes when we have an event, big trauma, little trauma, wherever that fits in there, sometimes we think maybe we've forgotten it. I knew about this, but I never really brought it to light. And in this meditation, I had this powerful moment where I was on stage. It was my future self giving a presentation in front of all these people, but I was giving this presentation in honor of this inner child who felt depleted and sad about this whole situation, this embarrassing moment. But the funniest part was, as I had this realization of me giving remembrance and like saying, like, I'm doing this for you, inner child, there was applause from the emotion code next door. And I realized how it was all connected about how it was at the same age as this emotion code had come up. It was this full circle moment where I was just kind of like, where am I?
Wow, and the universe was like, "Well done." It's like the
Yeah.
perfect synchronicity.
It was, and if it wasn't for that emotion code session, if it wasn't for that session I had on site, and then just with the meditation, it was like it all came full circle and was like, I'm meant to heal this right now, and I'm meant to kind of like push through and show myself like you can do it. You don't have to hold on to this anymore. It was beautiful, and it was like these healing things can really help us push through to that next level. And especially, it was something holding me back from sharing my
Mm,
voice, being more authentic in myself, which is important when you have a podcast and you're
mm.
showing up on YouTube. And so it was that moment where I feel like it really helped propel me forward.
That's so profound. I know the more techniques, the more practices, I'm like, share them with me because this is a school I'm here to learn.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think that is a big piece in what we're doing. Like, if we can, one, figure out ourselves, we can really like dig deep. Who are we? How will we operate? What can we do to really fulfill our passions and learn along the way? Just even what you said about the self care, it's like what we do today for self care is going to be different tomorrow. And if we're just open to pivot and not being too like, this is the way it's got to be, it's like, oh, today's a little different. So let's take it easy. And then tomorrow, maybe we can step back up and do it.
Yes, and honoring what feels right for you in every moment, even if it's not what you are envisioning or thought it should be. And like you said, I feel we're so easily distracted by other people's opinions, technology. I mean, we have access to so much information 24/7. It's so overstimulating. And to be able to tune in and be like, okay, who am I in this moment? What is true to me? And how can I be of service to myself and others right now?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I feel like the first 2 years of me trying to build this business, I was like following the blueprints of other people, like taking the course, how I start this, how I do this. And I got to a point, probably in November, December of 2022, it was so overwhelming. And like what I've been doing since then is like simplifying and just throwing out all these shoulds and really just following what feels good, because that is the whole reason I started this business. That is the whole reason I started this journey, is to really figure out what fills my soul and how I can propel myself forward. I think
Yes.
having places like the Art of Living and courses that
Yes.
you can do, and that's a beautiful thing. You could do some of this stuff online. It's a different experience if you go, but knowing that if
Yes.
you can't go somewhere, if you could just take a few days to focus on yourself, how much growth you can get from something like that.
Yes. It's accessible anywhere, anytime, no matter your circumstances or situations.
Yeah.
And what's so beautiful, we forget you really need to show up fully for yourself, which means go to that course, take time for your practice, take time for yourself, and that way you can fully show up for others as well.
There was a point, especially being a mother of 2 young kids, where I was, like, desperately hoping people would step up and help me, but I wasn't doing it for myself, and so I found this power when I actually took care of myself and made myself a priority and started doing these things. I started to realize how much power was behind that, and so I say, like, if you can't go somewhere for a weekend, start with 24 hours. Make a 24-hour devotion to yourself from morning till night. I would tell my husband and my kids, I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning. If you're upstairs, I'm downstairs. If you're downstairs, I'm outside. You know what I mean? Like, let
Yes.
me get my own space. And it's so important. And my family, my husband, they see how much better I am a mother and a wife. And when I devote that time to myself, because then I can fully be present. Whereas when I'm trying to do all the things all the time, my kids are only getting, a low percentage of what I truly can be for them. And it's not selfish. It's honestly the opposite. It's like being able to give so much fully to those around you. That's important.
That's powerful.
So if someone wanted to host a retreat, what would the process of that look like?
Okay, great question. Please, anyone out there, we would love to support you here on this mountain. We have a group form that you can fill out on our website. It's super simple. It's under host your event here on the tab, and you just fill out your name, your group number, and the dates that you want it. And myself or one of my teammates or coworkers will reach out, and that's how we begin the process of seeing how we can support you and collaborate together and be able to provide you a space where you can share your wisdom and gifts with others.
I love that. I hope I'm one of those people in the near future.
Wholeheartedly believe you will be.
I think it will come true. Let's see when
Yes.
it aligns with my timeline.
Yes, it is happening, it's just when.
Welcome to Float Activity, the channel that guides you on a transformative journey towards spiritual wisdom, self-development, and healing practices, all aimed at elevating your intuition and aligning you with your soul's purpose. I'm your host, Kara Dempsey, and I'm thrilled to have you joining me as we learn together. Please subscribe and share this with a friend to help grow my channel. I appreciate you, and we'll chat soon.